Speak through my words if they are worthy, Lord, and if they are not, then speak in spite of them. Amen. So, thank you, Madeline, for doing that first reading. I'm preaching from it, so it was important that you did it good. So, lest we forget, the Israelites escaped horror and a life of trauma in slavery, and they escaped oppression and violence when they left Egypt. Now, although we believe the Israelites knew where they were going, I'm happy to tell you they may not have known exactly where they were going, but they sure knew they wanted out of Egypt, because Egypt was hell. And so we have that Exodus, and then we have the Egyptian army getting lost at sea, so to speak. And the Israelites headed to the promised land. And once they had escaped, and today's reading is a point in time of that 40-year journey. And they wandered those 40 years before they made it and settled in Israel. Now, bear in mind, they had not overthrown Egypt. They escaped. You see, people broken by oppression are in no way ready to take on the empire. You leave Egypt, you run, and you do everything you can do not to go back to Egypt, not to experience Egyptian misery again. You'll go anywhere but Egypt, whether it's for 40 more days, or 40 months, or 40 years. I'm willing to bet that in Israel, they even avoided Egyptian tourists for a while. No one wanted the reminders. Maybe even kindly, well-intentioned Egyptians can bring all the trauma back up. In faith and in life, everybody in this room has left behind some type of Egypt to which they never intend to return. I know I have. Each of us in this room has felt at some point led by God to leave behind some form of a troubling life experience. And so the journey deeper into the heart of God and the healing that that gives us, it's a path. It's a path of length and growth and effort and time, just like the path from Egypt to Israel. And on our path toward a new understanding of faith, or maybe a new understanding of God, our path toward a new understanding of being in a community of faithful people, we need each other. And we need Aaron, and we need Moses, and we need all of the rest of the people who are our new tribe of faith, our new tribe of life. We need all of them for the journey. And we need the promise of safety wherever we're going. To have all of that, we have to take our time, and we have to take it all in along the way. Now, we're taught that none of the original Israelites over the 40 years made it to the land we call Israel, the so-called promised land. Now, I figure that's because some of them probably died. 40 years was a really long time, especially then. And based on my reading, not so much of the Bible, but my reading of human behavior, I figure some people didn't make it to Israel because they never planned to get to Israel to begin with. They just wanted out of Egypt. And thank God and thank Moses, they made it. Some probably stopped somewhere along the way. For whatever reason, they just couldn't go one more step. Maybe it was their health that held them back. Or maybe, just maybe, and this is something I've learned about human behavior, maybe they had had just about enough of Moses or of Aaron, or all the other people who they had loved so much, but who now they needed them to go on without them. We have to do that in our lives sometimes. Leave some behind and let others go on. And others simply found a life that was somewhere between the hell they had been in and the heavenly life they sought. And they broke camp there. And so many stopped and they found a new life and they found love. And each of those people who made it that far, but not all the way, and each of those communities, each of them has their own story of seeking the beauty God intends for us. Just like each of us in this room has our own story of seeking the beauty God intends for us. But we have all had to leave Egypt in life or in faith. We've had to leave Egypt to find the path and to find the people and to find the place God intends for us to find, at least for us to be in for now, maybe forever. But the journey takes a lot longer sometimes. And thankfully, it goes a lot deeper sometimes than we thought it might. The bottom line is this: the path of love isn't linear because we don't walk it alone. There's a proverb believed to be African that says, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go together. We leave Egypt to get closer to God, and we found ourselves getting closer to others along the way. And we stay together to find the wholeness promised to us. For many of us, our Egypt was hell. For many of us, Egypt is trauma. The Egypt some of us have left behind left scars. And it's totally unfair, but we leave Egypt behind, yet a little bit of Egypt stays with us. We recover, we grow, but we remember. The good news is this: remembering keeps us from going back. So part of our healing is telling our story, and part of our healing is being on the path with others coming out of Egypt and being on the path when others yet make their way. And we walk with them and we love them, and we point the way to God and grace and new growth of our own souls and for theirs. Some of us even boldly go back to the gates of Egypt and whisper to those who are seeking, come out, for God has love and life for you out here. And many of us stay as far from Egypt as we possibly can, because all Egypt ever wanted to do was hurt us. There's room in the love of God for all of us to be spread out into the promised places of grace. And the rest of the world outside of Egypt is so much larger, and it's so much more welcoming, and it's so much more loving than the tyranny of the metaphorical Egypt we've left. Maybe, as it turns out, there doesn't have to be just one place where we find the love of God. Maybe we only need to leave Egypt, but then go ever more swiftly and ever more deeply and ever more well into who God calls us to be among a new tribe who we love, who are where God has called them to be too. So let's go deeply together into God's wide embrace. Let's go far together in faith. Let's go together. Period. Amen.
Amen.